Another theme that cropped up a number of times when I was looking through Capablanca's games was the theme of the attack with the doubled h-pawn. It's maybe a little bit far out to call it a stratagem of Capablanca, but it did occur in a number of times in actually a number of famous games. Just want to show you three of them. This first game is against András Steiner, a strong Hungarian player. The game was played in Budapest 1928, and Weiss just played bishop d1, threatening bishop takes h5, and very interesting here. Capablanca just allows White to take on h5 and plays rook a e8, bishop h5 gh. White plays f4, or just trying to cover some kingside light squares in actual fact, not to allow black to play knight g5. And then black's attacking straight away with his double h-pawn and going h4. I'll just show you a few more moves because it actually fits into a theme that we looked at in our book, Chess for Life. And that's Capablanca's complete lack of standard thinking when it comes to exchanging bishops off for knights. I mean, very often players have a sort of an emotional attachment to bishops, and they won't easily part for them in return for a knight. Capablanca was very non-stereotypical in this. In this position, he sees that the white knight's going to move to e3, and he just takes it off and plays rook e7, and actually starts some serious counterplay with the rook coming over to g7. Then the g-pawn is pinned and knight f4 is coming in. Steiner doesn't defend well here. Actually, after knight f1, rook g7, wherever white moves his king, black's actually coming with h5 and h4, and he's just going to actually end up picking up a pawn. He's going to win. He's going to win the f and g pawn for his h pawn. But it all started with allowing these double h pawns and then throwing them into the fray. The next game is again very famous. Very famous for a comment of Reti, in actual fact. It was happened during the opening phase. White's not playing in a particularly interesting or critical manner, so black already stands quite well. What Reti was particularly interested in was that Capablanca here thought for a very long time, and then transposed almost by force into this ending. This move bishop d4, and then knight e4. It's a moot point whether this was absolutely the best decision, but it was. This was something that he absolutely desperately wanted to have. And what it leads to, in actual fact, is one of our typical positions with doubled h-pawns. And what does Capablanca do? I think you can guess. He just throws in that h-pawn into the fray just to give it away and use it to weaken the white king side. The game continued. Actually, this is one of Capablanca's famous endings, which he later won. But again, it starts with these a long forcing manoeuvre that actually led to doubled h-pawns, and then he just used those doubled h-pawns to soften up the white king side. The last example is another very famous game. It's another one of those games for Frank Marshall in which it looked like he was putting Capablanca into problems, but it just all turned out just to be good for Capablanca. So here, Frank Marshall probably took a very risky decision with hindsight. He tried to exploit black's play. Black can't take on a2 here because rook a1 wins the queen, but Capablanca came up with a very nice pawn sacrifice. It'd be interesting to see how far ahead Capablanca had already seen this. Knight c6, queen c3, rook d2, and in return for the pawn, Capablanca's got excellent compensation. He's got rook on the 7th rank. Yeah, Marshall should probably have tried himself to put his rook on the 7th rank, play knight e7 check, and then rook c7, for example, at some stage. Instead, he tried to hold on to everything, and this turned out very nasty. Rook e8, e5, and then g5. The idea is simply that Black wants to stop White from supporting his e5 pawn with f4, and now rook e6 is coming in, and when the knight moves away, then rook takes e5. So Marshall went h4, g takes h4, we have our doubled h pawns. I think you know what's going to be coming pretty soon. Rook e1, rook e6. Yeah, obviously here Frank Marshall decided that the knight couldn't move away from c6. Well, rook g6 is coming in. It's going to be very, very nasty. So he took his last move back, basically. King g7, b4, trying to shore up that knight with b5. Capablanca's having none of it. Moves the rook to g6. Now the knight on c6 is really, really pinned, because then rook takes g2 will follow. It's very nice. I mean, Capablanca's just optimizing the position of all his pieces here. The rook coming to a2, attacking a3 now. King g1, and now finally we have it. The h-pawn being thrown into the fray. Well, rook h3 in this case completely impossible, because the knight on c6 is hanging. But if you don't get rid of this knight, then of this pawn rather, then well, it's going to cause you a lot of damage, and well, it does, doesn't it? And Capablanca won the game a few moves later. Again, just very very striking, really. You know that this doubled h pawn is used in 3 of Capablanca's most famous games. In a couple of cases, he just accepted it. You know, he really just allowed it consciously. And in the last game here, well, Frank Marshall gave it to him, but he used it to full advantage.